Hi, welcome to today's On This Day in Tudor History, and this is actually an extra On This Day in Tudor History because on the 24th of June there is a special feast day which is celebrated still today by the Catholic Church and was an important day in medieval and Tudor times. It's the feast day of St. John the Baptist today. And this important day, medieval and Tudor times, coincided with Midsummer, which was, of course, the pagan celebration of the summer solstice. It was a time when people believed that got a cat scratching behind me, making rather a noise. Wait, Maggie. It was a time when it was believed that the fairy folk were abroad, they were busy doing things, and a time when humans themselves could be magical, do magic things. And fire was, and actually is in Spain today, at the heart of these Midsummer celebrations and St. John the Baptist Day celebrations. People would jump through fires to bring them good luck. And also the fires could ward off evil spirits that were roaming free through the world. So the fires would ward them off. Of course, the actual evil that was around at the time was really disease brought by fleas and mosquitoes, which bred at this time of year and which spread things like malaria and the plague, and that so fires also, the smoke from fires also kept them at bay. Now, one fire that was lit at this time was the bonfire, which is where our word bonfire comes from. Its pungent smell, it was made up of bone, so it had a rather pungent smell. So it's a fire made out of bones, hence the word bonfire. So its pungent smell was believed to ward off evil and scare off dragons as well, because you don't want a dragon ruining your Midsummer and St. John the Baptist celebration, do you? Well, I do actually, that would be rather exciting. Fires could also be used to predict the farmer's fortune as well. A cartwheel would be wrapped in straw, it would be set alight, and then it would be rolled down a hill. And if this burning cartwheel, if it got to the bottom still burning, then that was a sign that the farmer would have a good harvest that year. If it didn't, then obviously that was a sign of the opposite, that things wouldn't be so good for the farmer that year. And of course, there was also lots of dancing, drinking of ale, socialising and feasting, all the things that you would expect from a good medieval and Tudor celebration. Now, unfortunately, the Midsummer bonfires and the fires and the burning cartwheels and all that, these were all seen as being superstitious by the religious reformers who, of course, came to the forefront in the 16th century. So as the Protestant Reformation happened in England, these fires came to a stop and things, fizzled out. So that seems such a shame, doesn't it? Midsummer was also the time for haymaking, and other midsummer traditions included decorating churches with birch boughs, decorating houses with greenery, processions and parades as well. It was also a time linked with love divination, which is quite an interesting one. These divinations included girls throwing hemp seed over their shoulders to see the form of their future husbands, which is quite an interesting one, and girls sticking orpin flowers up in the joists of buildings in pairs. So 2 orpin flowers put in pairs in the joists of the buildings. One to symbolise the man that they had their eye on, and the other the woman. And 17th century historian and writer John Aubrey is quoted in Steve Roud's book, an excellent book on traditions and feast days called The English Year. John Aubrey says, accordingly, as the Orpin did incline to, or recline from ye other, that there would be love or aversion, if either did wither, death. So if these Orpin flowers sort of bent towards each other, then that was a sign of love. If they sort of started to go in opposite directions from each other, then that meant that the couple wouldn't be in love and actually nothing would happen. And if they withered, then one of the couple would die. So that was the love divination. Now here where I live in southern Spain, which of course the Catholic Church is the prominent faith here, we still have the feast of St. John the Baptist, or San Juan as he is known, and it's a very, very special time. In fact, here in my village, we're coming to the end of 5 days of celebrations. Today is San Juan Day, the 24th, so there's a special mass today and a procession. Last night, the eve of San Juan Day, we went to our neighbouring village. There are two very small villages, both with the same town hall, and both sort of celebrate things together. And our neighbouring village has got a thermal pool. It is fed by a natural spring, and it is a constant warm temperature. And in winter, it's so wonderful because if you go to it, you can see it looks like steam rising from it, and people swim in it all year round. And people gather there, and this pool is the kind of the hub of the village, and there are bars and restaurants around it. But people gather there for the annual sardines, which are cooked. These little sardines are cooked on open fires there, and you queue up to get your plate of sardines and your glass of beer, and it's all paid for by the town council, and you sort of sit around the pool and you enjoy that. There are also fair rides for the children, stalls, live music. On another night, there's been flamenco dancing by local groups. There's been all kinds of fun and celebrations. Then at midnight last night, when of course it became the day of San Juan, people started jumping into the pool. It's traditional to either jump in the pool or to do as I did, because I didn't want to wreck my dress, to dip your hand in the pool and to sort of run the water over your face and your head to baptize yourself. And that is seen as jumping in the pool, or doing that to your face and head. It's seen as washing away your sins and sort of giving you a blessing for the year. In coastal areas, sardines are cooked on bonfires on the beach. People jump over these fires just as they did in Tudor England, jump over the fires to bring them good luck. And then at midnight, they run into the sea and baptise themselves in the sea instead of, as we do with that thermal pool. So San Juan here is definitely a celebration that's still alive and kicking. But then, of course, Spain didn't have the Protestant Reformation to bring an end to these traditions that were seen as superstitious. So we still have the good fun. I've got a dog drinking from water behind me. We still have these good fun celebrations today that give me that link to Tudor and medieval times, I feel. Anyway, thank you for joining me today and for this extra video. Peeper. Good. It's been lovely talking about what is a wonderful celebration here and what would have been a wonderful celebration in Tudor England. I'll see you tomorrow with another Tudor event. Take care. Bye-bye.